Hello, welcome to the Citrus Garden. If you're new here, my name is Christina. If you're not new here, hi, welcome back. It's great to see you. This is a reading for Leo sun signs, or if you have significant Leo placements in your chart and are needing a masculine energy to work with or balance within yourself. Or could also, if you're here and you're not a Leo sun sign or don't have Leo in your chart, it may also be relevant for you when the sun is in Leo, which is July, August time. End of July to August might be a significant time frame for this energy to play out as well. So keep that in mind if you are here, you don't have Leo in your chart. So I'm going to leave it like that. But there's also this energy here of, I'm seeing two perspectives in this reading, and like two different energies is how it's coming through. Like I had to like switch decks, which could also be a message about like this reading may resonate with you very strongly in one perspective, but in August, maybe, the perspective might be flipped. It might be that it'll resonate for you on the other side more strongly throughout this time frame. So in the next couple of months, that there may be sort of like a perspective that's changing is how it's coming through. So just for the overall energy of this reading, you have the Singer of Courage, which is number 8, right? Which is talking about August. But the Singer of Courage also is very Leo energy. Leos to me are very courageous. And there's something here about like maybe there's like a fear that's being work through or something like that, or something that is requiring courage. But I feel like there is like a support energy here. I was kind of just getting like this just like a message for someone specific who may be watching this, who is like supporting somebody else, is how it's coming through. So there's a lot of Lord of the Rings. I've just been seeing a lot of that energy around recently. So I'm using this Lord of the Rings tarot that I have that I don't use that much. Because I don't know. I feel, so anyways, about Lord of the Rings. It's kind of like I'm seeing like this relationship between Frodo and Sam, right? Who are like the best friends, the main characters in that story, where Frodo is the one who's carrying some sort of burden, right? Like has to complete some sort of burden. And then Sam is sort of like the best friend who is, in my opinion, like, well, they're both representing strength today, but in different ways, where Sam is the one who is supporting the one who's using a lot of their strength to carry some other burden, if that makes sense. So that's sort of how I'm seeing. I don't know if this is describing you and a partner, Leo, or something like that, but there's like an energy of two that are supporting one another. Perhaps one person's supporting another while they're working through some sort of challenge. And then I feel like that there may be almost like a flip energy that happens down the line, right? Like somewhere else, or like at a different time, whenever this reading comes back around, like it may flip, if that makes sense. So anyways, Leo, for the bottom of the deck, again, you have here the Two of Cups at the bottom of this deck, and it's 444 on the clock. And then the Judgment card in this deck, and you like, so these two energies, it's like these are the two energies, how it's coming through. One person, I feel like this is your energy, Leo, but again, it could be flipped, so just take it how it resonates, where it's like somebody's going through some sort of judgment energy, which is kind of, to me, talking about like the arrival of something. It could be news. It could be whatever, something happening in your life in whatever way, that's perhaps feeling like it needs your attention, or that like it's something that you need to respond to or need to deal with in some way. That's sort of how this Judgment energy is coming through. And then the other one's in this Two of Cups energy. This is like the unconditional support, kind of like Samwise Gamgee, the gardener, right? The one who's just like follows Frodo wherever they go. Like it's that kind of dynamic is what I'm seeing for you, Leo. Which is interesting because you also have here the dog barking. Advice from a friend. I actually feel like that's someone else, which I will get into. And at the bottom of this deck, you have the box, and it came out in reverse. So I feel like this is some sort of challenge. Because it's in reverse, it's coming through as like expectations from other people, right? Like norms, societal expectations, that kind of thing. So there's something about that that's presenting as a challenge. Does it have anything to do with the relationship or not? I don't know. I'm not sure about that, so I'm just gonna let that simmer for a second. So, the box, there's some sort of like perhaps expectations or norms about like whatever the situation is, and it's kind of like there are layers to it. So it's kind of like when you work through one, another one appears, and you got to keep like working through it is kind of how it's coming through. That's the overall context. The first card that you have out here is the Mirror, and it came out in reverse. Actually, the first 3 of these archetype cards all came out in reverse, which is bringing up this energy, Leo, of like, I don't know if this is you or somebody that you're in relationship with, like a friend or whatever it is for you. Because sometimes I see reversals as like that's not your energy, it's something that's in your environment. So just take it how it resonates. But this card, and because it's coming up with the Mirror, it comes through with like a reflection. So it could be that they're reflecting something back to you. It's interesting because it's coming through as strength with the Leo energy. Something about your strengths are mirrored is how it's coming through. Like, especially with like Frodo and Sam, where Frodo's strength, so to speak, is to carry this really heavy burden, and that burden is such a like, it's such a tough burden that it actually weakens him. There's something about that, like the burden weakens the person who's holding it, that kind of thing. So all of the strength is sort of being used to carry some sort of burden. And then Sam's strength is to carry Frodo. Like at the end of the movie, like quite physically, he carries Frodo up the mountain. So there's something about that, about like strengths being mirrored, but it doesn't always look like that in the moment, if that makes sense. Because, okay, I'm not gonna over explain it. I feel like that's sort of what's coming through here with the Mirror. And so there's also a caution, because it came out in reverse, not to compare yourself to another person, especially if it's like a friend or a partner or whatever. It's like, don't compare your strength to that person's strength, because it looks different is how it's coming through. The strength looks different. Where even where it's like somebody's weakness, quote unquote, what they perceive as a weakness might actually be the strength. It's like, if you're seeing weakness in yourself or somebody else, it's like it's because they are using their strength. I hope that makes sense. And it's coming out here with the butterfly, which says a change for the better. So there's some sort of change. I feel like though it's coming through with, and I picked up this card as well, the Judgment energy and the King of Wands. And this to me, so this is somebody who is like the King of, no, it's not the King of Wands, it's the King of Pentacles. Somebody who was perhaps thought to be a friend, but is no longer, is how it's coming through. And then you have the King of Wands underneath that, which is really interesting. So one's a friend, one's a foe. That's how it's coming through. Okay. One's a friend, one is a foe. And you have here the Eight of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups coming out to clarify this, which is like, I feel like this is you in your partnership or your family or your friend group or whatever it is for you. Perhaps work related, or there's like, it's very physical. It's like has physical consequences or physical manifestation attached to it, with the sort of these two rings at the center, right? That's how I'm seeing this. Like you and your person or whatever. And then there's everything else that's surrounding it. But it's kind of like there's something here with like the Knight of Swords where there's like a messenger kind of energy coming in is how it's coming through. So this might be sort of the Judgment energy. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing because it is a change for the better, but it may, I don't know. So there's something here about like with the next card out, you have here the Five of Cups, because traditionally that talks about sort of a loss of some sort. But how I'm seeing this is that this is you at the center, and it's coming out with the Sustainer in reverse, which talks about like feeling overworked, or there's resentment, or that there's like, there's a box that like, I was really drawn to like this box here where it's like, I feel like whatever it is that you are giving a lot of your energy into, right? And the way that these cups are framed around this one cup, like this is sort of you, and there's like perhaps like a box or structures of responsibility that are surrounding you is how it's coming through. Like your responsibilities, the things that you put your energy into, the things that you sustain, or the things that you grow or nurture or that kind of thing. But it's like there's one cup here that is not a friend is how it's coming through, but a foe. Which is interesting. It's like, so they're coming out with the King of Pentacles. Perhaps were a friend at one point, but there's something now off about the dynamic is how it's coming through. And it's coming through with pay attention to your finances, the purse, which is like, perhaps it is affecting your finances in some way. And the reason why it's coming through like this is because I feel like there's something about this energy here that's like, it's because of some of the other cards coming out. At the end, you have here the Fly, which says a period of ill health or depression. So it could be something about that there's like, it's like the water here in this cup is I don't know, has contamination of some sort, or like is not quote unquote safe to drink, like that kind of thing. But what you have next here is the Ace of Cups. So this is coming through as being like a new, like, it's like fresh water, right? It's like it's fresh water. Because so this might not actually be something that's still in your environment, is how it's coming through. It might not be something that's like, so you may have already like dealt with this situation, right? But it's kind of like you gotta clean the cup out, so to speak. So it's kind of like this is coming through with the Ace of Cups, which is, I love this card. It's so sweet. It's like nectar or syrup, right? Like, because it's coming from the tree. It feels very sweet. Or it's like, if you're the sustainer, it's like, when was the last time that someone gave you like something to drink, right? Like that, it's that kind of energy that they're perhaps like returning some sort of gesture to you that you have been actively giving to others, is how it's coming through. Because it's coming through like this. So you have here the Six of Wands and the Six of Cups. So it's like, I feel like here with the Five of Cups, I feel like there's here with the lid on this cup, it's like perhaps you had to put something aside, and it's like you put a lid on it, right? You had to like close it, or like just like temporarily put it aside, is how it's coming through. And it's like now there's something coming in to refill that space, maybe. With the Six of Cups, I see this as sort of like a soulmate energy. Doesn't have to be romantic. It, to me, just represents all type of soulmates. I feel like on some level that it's a feminine energy. Or something like that. Or with because the Six of Cups can also talk to me about like childhood friends, like that kind of thing. Like you're perhaps has something to do with like healing an inner child aspect. With the Six of Wands as well, I feel like there's an energy here of overcoming some sort of challenge, or it's like it's working through obstacles. Perhaps working through an obstacle together is how that's coming through. And then the next card you have here, the Pilgrim, also came out in reverse. So you have 3 cards that came out in reverse, which I feel like is trying to correct a situation, or like, because this one's, you have XX, which is judgment, right? Which is a judgment energy. The Pilgrim in reverse. So maybe there's somebody arriving in your life here with the Six of Wands. Because sometimes that looks to me like a pilgrim. Like a pilgrimage. Like a journeyer or a traveler, that kind of thing. I don't know if you're going to them or they're coming to you, but it feels kind of like your paths are crossing in whatever way that is. With the X's as well, I feel like it has... Okay, so maybe it has something to do with, like... Maybe this is an X of some sort. And I feel like there's something about this person's moon sign that's significant, where it's like, which is something that I've just noticed, that if you have, for example, like relationships where there has been difficulty or pain or wounding, usually that happens or affects you through your moon sign. Like how you deal with that emotionally is through your moon sign. And it's also coming through as being sort of like, so this person has a different moon sign to you, is how it's feeling, or that they deal with their emotions differently. And it could be that they also have the same moon sign as one of your exes, or like something like that. So it could be that this person's arrival may actually cause like that kind of energy to like stir up in you, like the wounds that were caused by that last person, for example, because their moon signs are the same. How this new person and how your ex or whatever it is for you dealt with their emotions are the same. So it could be that they feel the same, or they like something about them perhaps reminds you of that person, or brings up emotions or memories about that person or whatever. Something about that. And also, because it's coming out with the Wheel of Fortune, which is also an X card, like the 10, I should say. So Wheel of Fortune, something's changing, but I feel like it's also, again with the box, it's also causing, it's like a square. So square to Leo, right, would be all the fixed signs. So Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius might be significant energies for you. But also pay attention to your moon sign. I know that this is a sun reading, but there's a lot of feminine energy in this reading. So it could be that whoever this new energy is a feminine energy to your masculine energy, whatever that is for you. But anyways, so this card is also talking about home. But that with the Pilgrim coming out, maybe it's an energy of leaving home or going on some sort of journey, or perhaps you're returning home from a long journey, something like that, which is interesting here with the vine. It says seek out information that will help you. It's kind of coming through as being like, say you leave home, you go on a journey, and then you come back a different person. For example, right? Usually with the Pilgrim, there's some sort of like soul searching, or like, growth or personal development or whatever that happens. And then, so when you return home to the Shire, it's different, right? Like it feels different, or it appears different in whatever way. And I feel like there's something here about like, with the vine, that there's like information that's going to help you, perhaps like whatever it is, I don't know with what, right? Like it's something that has to do with like the Wheel of Fortune, like it's going to shift your direction, maybe. Because sometimes I see this vine card as being like, if it's like a vine that gets sort of like wound around like a tree trunk, the vine could potentially limit the growth of the tree trunk or the tree, right? By constricting it. So it could be something like that. But if the vine has something to grow around, right, that could also provide structure. So it could be that like structure so that the vine can grow. So it's kind of like, I don't know who you are in this situation where it's like, if you're the tree, maybe that there was something constricting your growth. So that there may be information coming through that way. If you're the vine, maybe there's some structure that's perhaps needed in order to help you to grow, if that makes sense. Okay, gonna leave it like that. Neither one is good or bad. It's just coming through as being like, if there is something that was constricting your growth, I feel like that's going to be like made clear to you. Especially with the next couple of cards that come out, you have here the Mentor. This came up upright, which is really interesting. So this whole reading could be flipped in reverse, Leo. I feel like maybe at different times it'll resonate for you in different ways. So the Mentor card coming out, which is coming up upright, which is a good sign. And then the Fly, which says a period of ill health and depression. So if you have been going through some sort of period of ill health, it's like perhaps there's a mentor that's helping you work through that, or to... Again, it doesn't quite feel like a friend. I feel like this person is not perhaps a friend at the moment. Like, you don't know them that well. They're more so in sort of like a mentoring role where they're sharing information or you're learning something from them. Which is interesting because the next two cards coming out here are the Empress and the High Priestess. Again, so much feminine energy, even though this is a sun reading. Which is kind of talking to me like, it's like this is happening through your feminine energy, even though this is a sun reading. You're being asked to give back to yourself is how it's coming through. The Empress, I'm seeing this as you, and I'm seeing the High Priestess as the other, as the mentor. Again, flip if that is not resonating with you. But it's coming through as being because these are both elves in this story. This is Arwen, this is Galadriel. So it's kind of like same species, if we want to use those words, but different clans, right? So it could be something that like you're similar in some way, but different in other ways that are more like location based, or like whatever, different adaptations or something like that. Whatever language you want to use there, similar but different. So it's kind of like, and so it's also emphasizing like they're not necessarily within your immediate friend group or family or community. And I feel like that's exactly why they're coming in, is because they're seeing something, perhaps reflecting something back to you here with the mirror about something that you can't necessarily see because it's too close to you, is how it's coming through. Like it's too, again with the box, it might be something about like cultural or societal expectations of you that might not exist in this person's culture or society or community or whatever, right? It's kind of like there are different quote unquote rules or expectations within these two energies. And so through that difference, I feel like there is change or information, or it's like, because this person's not an exact reflection to you, there's valuable information in that, is how it's coming through. Like they're different enough that you can see something about either yourself because that person doesn't have that expectation, or that person doesn't have that constraint or something. And so it's like, okay, maybe there's like information for me to integrate about that person's experience, different from mine, different expectations, different community, different whatever, that might work for me with the vine, right? It's like it might be information that's helpful because it comes from a different set of expectations. Perhaps helping in some sort of like some sort of period of ill health or something like that. So it's interesting because I started off this reading as saying like don't compare yourself to others, right? But with the reversals coming in, it's kind of like if you are going to do that, do it in a conscious way, where it's like honoring and respecting another person's differences, without judging yourself, right? Like it's kind of like that, like so honoring and respecting yourself first, and then sort of seeing, okay, what else could possibly make the situation better? Because sometimes we just can't see, like, things that are in our blind spot just because it's too familiar to us, right? Sometimes you just need an outside perspective. I feel like as well, if you're, this energy is, again, wanting to emphasize that strength looks different in different people as well. So again, don't compare your strengths to another person's strength. And also don't compare your weakness to another person's weakness, right? That there's also different ways in which that expresses. And so it's coming through as like a fine balance between honoring, respecting yourself, honoring and respecting somebody else, and honoring also the differences between the two of you without comparison or judgment of yourself or the other. Okay, gonna leave it like that. And finally, the last three cards, you have Three of Cups, Queen of Wands, and the Four of Wands. So again, with this, so it's kind of coming through like this, where I'm actually seeing this as being like you in the center. This is something that I feel like you've put aside or is no longer necessarily something that you're actively participating in, is kind of how it's feeling, but it's been put aside. You're not engaging with whatever this past energy is. And then these three cups are the things that you are actively sustaining, is how it's coming through. So I'm seeing that as being sort of like continuing to do that, right? This is the sustainer energy that is positive and working for you, is how it's coming through. Like this Three of Cups energy that's like celebratory, fun, joyful, friendship, community, whatever this Three of Cups is for you. It's like continuing to do that. I feel like though there's something else here with the Queen of Wands. So maybe a fire moon might be significant. Because this is the sun reading, I feel like this is not you, but it's like, again, an aspect of you. Perhaps it has something to do with like creativity or a gift of some sort. It's coming through like a gift. But that maybe was not seen as a gift by you, is how it's kind of feeling. Like you don't see this aspect of yourself as a gift or as like a whatever. Skill is not the right word, but like part of your creativity maybe, or something like that. I feel like as well, because of these two at the bottom of the deck, I'm seeing this as, because one's the King of Pentacles and the King of Wands. I feel like maybe there was, okay, so the King of Wands I'm seeing as the friend, whoever that is for you. The King of Pentacles, though, is coming through as being like they were once a friend, but are no longer. And I keep getting confused about this as being a King of Wands. Like, it feels like maybe there was some, like, this... Somebody perhaps that you thought was a partner or in some way a partnership or something. Could be something from your past. I don't know. I don't know what this is exactly. But it's like there's confusion around this energy for some reason. Because I almost want to reverse them. Right? This one looks to me more like a King of Pentacles. Versus this one. This one seems to me more like the King of Wands. But for some reason the labels are being mixed up. That's really weird. So I don't know if there's like a masculine earth sign or fire sign that are significant to you. Which is really interesting because it's kind of like you're the Queen of Wands, actually, is how I'm seeing this in this dynamic. It's like there's something here about like one's a partner, one's not. Or whatever, right? Like with the wands. One's a match to you, one's not. But there's confusion about which, is how it's coming through. Because it's almost like the way that they appear is different than what they are. Okay, anyways, ending with the Four of Wands. So it is positive. It is possible is what I almost said. But with the Four of Wands, this is another box, which is interesting. It could have to do with, but I feel like this is something about like, it's another box because we all need structure, right? We all need quote unquote rules or expectations, perhaps of ourselves or of like our community or our relationships. There are societal structures that we need in place in order to grow. So I feel like perhaps there has been something that was affecting you in a negative way in terms of structure or expectations, but it's kind of like, I feel like there's, that's being restored or it's being, changed perhaps again for the better in order to accommodate something that works for everybody is how it's coming through. Okay, so I'm going to leave the message there. Okay, one second. I want to pull one more card from the elements. This King of Wands, King of Rings energy is really interesting. Okay, discipline time. This is a Saturn energy. Yesterday's reading might also be significant for you in some way. Discipline and time. I feel like there may be something about like speaking or like sharing some or like using your voice in whatever way or expression or creativity that may help to like sort some sort of confusion out. Fury bushfires. Yeah, that's not helpful. I feel like maybe there's okay, just the last closing note. There's a King of Pentacles who is coming out with a lot of fire is how it's coming through. So it's like maybe they this is a past energy and it's like they're a King of Pentacles who has anger or something like that versus a King of Wands who is very earthy. Okay, I'm going to leave it like that. If this reading resonated with you, please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. It helps so much. Thank you for sharing your energy with me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.